Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday. Glad to be back. I had a few days off after working the weekend, so I had my own weekend. But the weather's been all right. Yesterday, I was telling you on air this morning, I kept looking at the sky because, you know, I woke up a little bit later, so I did not check out the morning show yesterday. But
no judging. This is a no judgment zone.
I needed the extra
You didn't see the forecast, or you looked at somebody else's, but that's okay.
So I looked up at the sky and I saw the overcast clouds. Was waiting to see if any rain would come around. Didn't see anything. Sounds like it's going to be a similar kind of thing today.
Yeah, same deal.
Yeah.
No rain today.
Okay.
A few sprinkles maybe or
I'm
some
locking that in my brain right
yes.
now.
A lot of you know, I say that now I'll get burned on that.
All of a sudden,
there is a little bit of mist, a few sprinkles out there. Actually, when I came to work this morning, I'm down in Grifton, that ride up. Roads were more wet than dry. Coming up from Grifton, and that'll be the deal, I think, for a few more hours. Spotty, patchy drizzle and mist, just enough to dampen the road up to get the wipers on intermittent, but not putting anything in any rain gauges, not shutting down any outdoor job sites. Even if you're pouring concrete, this isn't the kind of rain where you'd have to cancel the cement truck. You should be fine doing that. And these are questions or emails I get regularly. That's why I mention this.
Yeah.
If you're doing construction outside, you're going to be fine. Even setting trusses or anything like that. Just be careful. A little damp here and there. And I'll dig into all that. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, before we get into all of that, we do have a story from yesterday talking about a proposal for the Bertie-Martin Regional Jail. They're looking to potentially expand it to reach other counties as well, Chowan County and Washington County, to house those inmates as well. I know that we spoke with the Martin County manager kind of about those proposed plans. I know that they mentioned the idea a few years back, looking to see if they could potentially, if they do get the funding that they can get, could either create a whole new jail or add on to the existing one that already is there. But there are a few mixed reviews. Some people like the idea and are advocating for a bigger facility, and some aren't so sure how that's going to play out. And one of them is the sheriff of Bertie County, Tyrone Ruffin, told our reporter Amarachi Uche just about his concerns about what this expansion could do. I know especially for him because the sheriff's office is pretty directly tied to the jail as well.
Yeah. To me, this is one of those things where if you live really close to the jail, you might be like, yeah, I don't know if I want that.
Right.
Or expanding it. And then if you're further away, the jobs it brings in, the way it helps the economy, it looks a little more appealing.
Right.
It's a tough argument.
It is.
These arguments, the jail construction, building new ones or adding on, always gets a lot of debate, no doubt.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at what reactions we heard from different people across the counties.
Bertie-Martin Regional Jail with a 90-bed capacity houses detainees for Bertie and Martin County, but a proposal is looking to expand the jail by adding Chowan and Washington County.
It's a no-brainer. You know, I mean, when you can put 4 counties together, combine the resources, combine the powers.
Martin County Manager Drew Batts says the proposal was first introduced a few years ago. Different expansion plans have been outlined, but the deciding factor is also the county's biggest obstacle: funding. As Batts says, it would be in the $16 million ballpark.
It's based on funding and based on the recommendations of those that would be funding the project. Would we build a new facility, or will we add on to the current facility and renovate the facility that's there?
Batts says the jail is in need of upgrades as they are having a staffing shortage affecting the housing of inmates.
I think we could do a whole lot better by the inmates, a whole lot better by the jail staff itself.
With the expansion set to solve those problems, some residents agree with the idea.
It would be a good idea because it would increase the economy, and we are in an area where we definitely need jobs.
However, not everyone is on the same page. Bertie County Sheriff Tyrone Ruffin says he does not support the proposed jail expansion, saying in part, quote, "The responsibilities and liabilities tied to operating a confinement facility are serious and far-reaching. It is my hope that any decision to expand is made only after careful consideration, thorough planning, and with the best interest of our citizens, staff, and justice system in mind."
Yeah, so a lot of options to weigh there. Like we saw in the story, one of the positives coming out of this is the economic impact. It can bring a lot of jobs there, and I know that the facility is already in need of some pretty significant upgrades as well. But then there's also the idea of, how much, like you said, if people are living nearby it, do they want to be seeing more people being housed there?
Yeah, there's that little annoying fear in the back of your head, more prisoners in my backyard. Does that mean a higher likelihood of, somebody breaking out or having issues down the road?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm generally on the yes side on this. I love the idea, especially when you get into some of those more rural areas up in the Martin and Bertie counties. You bring more jobs in, anything to kind of help get the economy going a bit more, business opportunities, employment opportunities, and how that ripples through the community. So yeah, but again, maybe if I was living there within a mile of the jail, I'd feel differently.
Right.
Different perspectives for different people. So I don't know. They've got
still a lot up in the air as well, because they're still trying to get that funding for it, and it's a pretty hefty
That's a
chunk
good
of change.
point. Yeah, got to get the money first. So,
Right.
but it's interesting to see where that goes down the future down here.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's talk weather.
Yeah, we'll switch over. I'll get you updated in the tropics, then we'll get into the clouds, but no rain scenario here for another day. So our tropical map still looks really good, meaning there's still no signs of Gabrielle forming over the coming days. And I'll give you a look out there. We'll start in our backyards, so you get a little perspective. Widen the map out. I'm going to start you off the southeast coast of the U.S. There's a lot of showers and storms from the east coast of Florida all the way splitting the gap between Bermuda and Hatteras. Showers and storms all the way out to Bermuda. There's a front kind of loitering around out there, and it'll be there for the next 4 or 5 days. So along that front, intermittent showers and storms, little weak low pressures, but nothing of any consequence, no big tropical systems. At least that's how the models are painting things through the weekend. We've got to watch closely this kind of setup, but so far so good. The Gulf looks fine. Pockets of showers, pretty good winds aloft, putting the kibosh on development. Same thing the Caribbean, that's a good looking map. And then out into the deep Atlantic, this is the time of the year for systems to be firing up out there. And there are areas of showers and storms, but again, nothing developing. Got a fair amount of dust coming off the African coast, helping to diminish and keep a dry air entrained in these systems. They need good, muggy, moisture-laden air to get going. And the winds aloft are a little strong as well. So this is all good news. No signs of Gabrielle over the coming days. When things start to change, they'll probably change significantly. We may end up tracking when things flop over 3 or 4 systems at once. Hopefully not. We'll see. All right, let's come back home then. Cloudy, breezy, looking good as we go through the day today, meaning those clouds are not going to bring much rain. A few sprinkles, a little mist here and there, that fine mist outside. Temperature in the mid-60s. Don't look for much more than a 10-degree warm-up like yesterday. I like to say think about yesterday and apply it again today. Days like today gives you a good perspective on where we're going. Yesterday we couldn't get the clouds out. We hit about 76, same deal today. Not quite as windy, but still gusty at times. Still hitting a 20 on the anemometer occasionally out of the north. SATRAD, and again the dividing line between the clouds and the clearing skies back to the west. That green, that's that mist and light raindrops. The cloud deck's very low and shallow, so the satellite image not even picking up those low clouds. But they're out there. And again, a little mist on the windshield. Washington 6.5, headed out the door, wind near 10, north-northwest showing. Generally a more due north flow today, I'd say. Yesterday it was more northeast, early Greenville. That looks like it might be a little damp. There might be a little bit of mist or drizzle outside the studio right now. And again, kind of in and out of that at times. I put a 30% for rain today on the 8-day to account for that. Rain gauge shows nothing through the day. You're not going to accumulate even a few hundredths. Looks unlikely to me. All right, rain chance 10 to 20% later today, tonight. Tomorrow, shower 2, more to the coast and inland. Not much, but a little bit here and there. There's your mid-60s. No 50s on that map. That'll change this weekend. We'll start getting some more 50s back over the inland areas. Out on the coast, you see that orange shading. Those are 70s. Low 70s from Manio to Buxton and Hatteras. Back down towards Cedar Island, near 70 out the door. Wind at 10 out of the north, generally holding that flow. Yesterday I had winds gusting, remember, 30 out there. This morning 20, so a little bit of a dip in the winds. But enough wind over the Pamlico Sound to continue the coastal flood advisory for Carteret County. Having said that, Beaufort County, Pamlico County, Carteret County, you're out of it. Initially, you guys were in that advisory as well today through 11 p.m. You've been dropped, winds coming down a bit, and that flood risk pretty low, 1 to 2 feet above normal, and primarily Sound side Carteret County now. All right, AM sprinkles, mist here and there, otherwise warm and breezy as we get into the afternoon under the clouds, 77-ish, maybe a little below that to the north, a little above that to the south. I don't think 80 is going to be doable in most areas. Maybe Jacksonville or Richlands or Trenton flirting with 80 later. Beaches, 78 in the surf, 78 on the sand. Uniform temps, sand and surf. High rip current risk for the Outer Banks. That transitions to a low risk as you get to the Crystal Coast. Bigger surf to the north with more of that onshore wind. And then an offshore wind knocks those surf conditions down a little bit. You get those glassy waves coming in with an offshore flow like that on the Crystal Coast. Surfing type environment down there. High tide coming to 10 a.m. We'll come back to a low tide 4 o'clock this afternoon. And again, air temps, I'm going to say mid-70s today. We should flirt with 80 tomorrow and hold that kind of a temp into the weekend. The big map looks good. I talked about that stationary front. There it is, hanging out offshore of the East Coast today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And that means these little waves of low pressure don't impact us. They stay offshore. There's tomorrow morning. Looks good. Still some clouds, but breaking the clouds up a little tomorrow. We'll get some shots of sunshine in here, and then into the weekend. Looks good. There's Friday. Gorgeous. A lot of sunshine, no rain, air temp near 80. We'll keep that party going Saturday and Sunday. The map looks good. I think rain chances will be under 20% this weekend. That low off the coast stays offshore. It's looking good. And that hot air out west, staying there. Nothing coming our way for 90s for a while. Air temp 70s today, 80, 81-ish tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe mid-80s early next week. And outside of that 30 this morning, I've got nothing over a 20 on rain chances. The air does get drier into the weekend. And you're probably saying, but I see rain chances. That's more of me covering myself rain chance this weekend. The bulk of the data showing drier air and more sun than clouds with that rain chance 20%. So I think some upper 50s for the morning hours this weekend. And then next week stays quiet. Gigi, I think low 80s for highs will continue, lows in the low 60s. Been a nice run. My job, not too tough right now. And I'm happy for that because we had a long run between heat advisories, watching tropical systems, in and out of some heavy rain. A lot of first alert weather days. Haven't had a first alert weather day in a while.
I know. I forgot about those, honestly.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, we're happy about that. I'm glad to see how it's a very calm forecast, and I'm sure a lot of people are also really happy to see that as well, especially because I know over the weekend we had a pretty hot day with the ECU game. Now things are feeling pretty nice out there, comfortable.
Yeah, and we're closing in on harvest time, and I don't want to be too much like the farmers are good. There are probably some crops that still need moisture, late season crops, but generally I think most of the crops we're getting close to harvest time, so the need for rain is not as high. Helps offset this dry kind of setup we're in as we head into the next 6, 7, 8 days.
All right, well, thank you, Jim, and thank you all for joining us this morning. Just want to say hello and good morning to Tony. Tony's also loving the forecast here. Hope you have a great day. Good morning to George and Billy down in Emerald Isle. Hope you're all having an awesome Wednesday. We'll be back again at 8 for another news and weather update. Hope you can join us then.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.